Hi, welcome to lesson 3.7, factoring a sum or difference of cubes. The first thing to note is that when you have a sum or difference of cubes, it's the same sort of form as a difference of squares, where you have two terms. The one difference with the sums and difference of cubes is we can have a difference or a sum of cubes. So when we factor a sum or a difference of cubes, it has the following format. We've got a short bracket and then a long bracket in both cases. In order to get the short bracket, we take the cube root of the first term and we write that result here. And we take the cube root of the second term and we write that result here. And the sign is the same as what's initially given. Okay, that's going to be the same for both of those cases. Then for the long bracket, what we have is we've got the first term here. We've got the first term squared in both cases. And at the end of the long bracket, we've got the second term squared. Now notice that when you square it, it's going to leave you with a positive result in both cases. And then in the middle term here, as I continually draw more and more things here, the middle term is just the product of the first two terms, the square and the triangle in these cases, but the sign is different. So here we've got the different sign than what's given here, which is of course different, or sorry, that short bracket, the sign of the short bracket is the same as the original, but it's different than the sign in the long bracket. Okay, so that's going to be the same for both. It's going to be different there, but it'll be the same here. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple examples here just to see how this works. So we've got this difference of squares here, a cubed minus b cubed. So first of all, we can take the cube root of a cubed, and that equals a, and the cube root of b cubed, which is b. So then a cubed minus b cubed is going to be the same format. We've got the short bracket, which is just a minus b, and is minus because of the initial sign here. And then in the long bracket, we've got the first term squared, which is a squared. We've got the second term squared at this end, plus b squared. And in the middle, we've got the product of these with the opposite sign. So it'd be then plus ab. Okay, so let's move along to the next couple examples down below. Notice that similarly, that from what we just saw up here, we have the same sort of format when it's a sum of cubes here. Okay, so let's factor a couple of these things here. So we start out with x cubed minus 64. Well, we'll take the cube root of x cubed, and that would be x. This is supposed to be a cube here. And then we'll take the cube root of 64, and that just equals 4. So then x cubed minus 64, I guess with proper format I should be doing this, x cubed minus 64 equals, well, short bracket, x minus 4, minus because it's the same as what's given, and the long bracket, x squared plus 4 squared plus 4x. Okay, so there's a. For b, again, same sort of idea. Maybe I'll write it up here just for fun. The cube root of 27x to the power 6 Well, the cube root of 27 is 3. The cube root of x to the power 6 is x squared. And then the cube root of 125 is going to be 5. So 27x to the power 6 plus 125 equals, short bracket, 3x squared. Same sign as what's given, so plus. Cube root of 125 is 5. And then the long bracket, 3x squared squared, so 9x to the power 4, plus 5 squared, so plus 25. And then the product of these two with the opposite signs would be minus 15x squared. And one last question here, one last example. So we got 27 over 64 x to the power 12. So the cube root of that would be what would that be? Cube root of 27, cube root of 64, cube root of x to the power 12, 3 over 4x to the power 4, and then the cube root of 216 divided by 1,000,000 y to the power 21 equals 6 over 100 y to the power 7. So all of this will equal 3/4 x to the power 4 minus, because it's the same here, 6 over 100 y to the power 7. That's the short bracket. The long bracket, we've got 3/4 x to the power 4 squared, so 9/16 x to the power 8 plus 36 over 10,000 y to the power 14. And then we've got a minus here, so it'll be plus. And then we multiply these two together, so we've got 3 times 6, which is 18 over 400. X to the power 4, y to the power 7. I don't think I'll be too picky about this, but probably not the worst idea in the world to simplify some of these things. So you can simplify 6 over 100, 18 over 400, 36 over 10,000. But generally, you can probably just leave it like that. Once you get the cube roots, that's probably enough challenge for the day. And that is about it. So there is your 9-minute lesson on sums and differences of cubes. There's your work for today. Here's the review work before the test. So please start a few of these. You don't have to do many, because tomorrow you have a chance to work on the rest of them in class. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you in class.